Looks like we're live. Daryl, Mary, Greg, Ghost, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? I know this is Friday night at 8 o'clock, so it's a little bit different, but there is a reason for all of that. We had a little bit of a scheduling situation tomorrow, and so we had to push Curmudgeon's Corner back until Monday. And so Monday at 6:30 Eastern time is going to be Curmudgeon's Corner 65 with Tracy Beanz. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am about having Tracy Beanz on. Like, she is as close to a celebrity as we're ever going to get here on the corner. Just truly amazing. This person, her pedigree. If you want to do your homework before she comes on the show on Monday, it is a mile long, and she is absolutely here. Absolutely. Kimberly, we're going to address that in a second. Becca Green in the house. Fantastic. Great to see you. Guardian, there are donuts. They're upstairs. My wife picked them up earlier. It's going to be fantastic. So anyway, I'm flying completely solo tonight, so bear with me because I don't have a co-host and I don't have a guest, but there's a bunch of things that I wanted to talk to you guys before Tracy gets here on Monday, which is why I'm kind of doing this little special show. And I didn't want to just pop up and do a live. I wanted to schedule it so that you guys could actually, hopefully, is the sound messed up? Can you not hear me? Or is this a bad connection? Oh, it's back. Okay. All right. Whew. Yeah, so like basically all the stuff that we normally do on Curmudgeon's Corner. Hey, Christy. I kind of wanted to get out of the way so that I didn't waste a whole lot of her time. Again, she's been nationally televised, or not televised, but syndicated on podcasts and on radio shows across the nation. She's kind of a really big deal. So I kind of wanted to do all of the curmudgeon-y stuff and kind of get it out of the way early tonight. We're going to do the mental floss real fast, and then and then I have 4 stories that I want to share with you guys tonight, and then we'll just kind of wrap it up. But hey, Keith Firebird, what's happening? Tim from Shine Your Light, Greg Siebold, good to see you. Ryan Mulhern, the usual suspects, always awesome. You guys, first of all, let me just say, what happened yesterday on Thor's channel with the way the community came around Becca Green, one of our own, going through some stuff, and they just really put the spotlight on her and helped her raise some money for what she's going through. I mean, weekly, I am shown how, 1, unbelievably generous this community is, but 2, how unbelievably community oriented we all are. It's amazing to see what is happening, and in no way, shape, or form am I taking credit for this, but I will say that I don't remember anything like this happening 4 years ago. Even on the Funkin' Homies, Godfrey's talking about mental health and the importance thereof. Like we're coming out of the shadows and we're talking about things and we're sharing with each other, and it really feels like we are a true family, and the way we just keep coming together for each other. So there's so many stories that I want to tell. Hopefully I can get it all out in the next hour. Conway, good to see you. Always. Chingy Bingy, Blingy, excuse me. Chingy Blingy. Enthusiast is in the house. Wow. I mean, what a testimony. It's a Friday night, 8 o'clock. You guys should be out partying. And here we are. So I just, I'm humbled by this community. It's truly amazing. The way that you guys have come together for the Pay It Forward campaign. I got another donation today. It had a wash sponge in it, a drying towel in it, 3 more power washer guns. I mean, that was today. It's you guys are just absolutely amazing. And the way that we rallied around Becca yesterday, um, I've never been a part of anything this incredible. So anyway, I just, you guys are awesome, and I absolutely uh, can somebody fill me in? All right. So Tim, yesterday on the House of Rags, um, Becca's going through. She's been diagnosed with cancer, and her husband's been diagnosed with cancer. And yesterday, the House of Rags um, had a bunch of us manufacturers and influencers and stuff like that coming on. They came on their show yesterday, I think at noon Eastern, and they ended up doing a fundraiser. Um, and I wish that I had the link to her PayPal. We could do it again here yesterday, or we could do it again here today. And I'm sorry, but Becca, I will try to get it for Monday's show. But anyway, the community came together and donations just came pouring in. Obviously I'm not privy to how much was raised, but I know that reading the comments, it was just like, I donated, I donated, I donated, I donated, I donated. And it's just, again, like, we might not ever have sat down together or broken bread together. But we show up here week after week after week, supporting each other, getting to know each other in the chats. And yesterday was a real testimony to just how much this community cares for uh, our brothers and sisters in this chat room. So I really, honestly, amazing. So without any further ado, we're 7 minutes in. Let me run the mental floss, and that's going to tie in directly into what there are 4 stories, maybe six stories that I want to talk about tonight. If you guys will indulge me, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I think it's really important to set the stage for Monday. All right. So without further ado, let's get this mental floss going.
Top people associate with other top people. There is what you've heard about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction says that if you change the way you think, you start to attract new people into your life. If you become aggressive about personal development and personal growth, you start to meet other people who think the same way. And the old groups of people that you associated with fall away, and the new group of people appears. So people say, well, where do I find positive people who are thinking about success all the time? First you become one, and then you naturally attract it. Top people.
Now, there's one more. I gotta find.
I need options.
I know what.
I've been waiting.
I don't think it's still here.
I know what
All right,
sassy.
never mind. All right. The other one, it was I don't know, but anyway. So I've been thinking a lot about something lately, something that kind of ties everything together tonight. This idea, this principle that we focus on, we attract, the laws of attraction. It's something that I've been trying to really focus on in my life, especially in the last couple of months. Now, I'm not talking about some woo-woo crystal on the dash kind of thing. I'm talking about energy, the energy that we put into the world, whether it's love, kindness, gratitude, or even frustration and anger. It all comes back to us. Speak it, manifest it. You want light, be light. You want kindness, be kind. You want opportunity, be the kind of person who opens the doors for others, because that's the secret. It's not about wishing. It's about aligning. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. And lately I've been seeing the truth everywhere in the smallest moments, the ones that happen when nobody's watching. So tonight's show is going to be a little different. We're not talking products for pain correction. We're talking about people. We're talking about single acts of kindness that can ripple outwards and change more than you'll ever know. and I've got a few stories that I want to share. Again, there's 4 real stories that I want to tell, and then 2 side stories that I want to talk about, that you guys already are aware of. They're all real. They're all recent in the last 2 weeks, and that reminds me of how connected we all are. So if you're tuning in tonight, maybe this isn't just a coincidence. Maybe you're part of the ripple, and it's pretty amazing. All right. So the first story that I want to tell, I got my hair cut last Wednesday or Thursday, last Thursday. And there's something I just love getting my hair cut. I don't know if it's SMR, the vibrations of the clippers, the sound of the scissors, but my barber knows that I just kind of chill out. I get in the chair and I just kind of zone out. The guy beside me, the barber beside me, he is a chatterbox, always chirping about something. But it was the customer that was sitting in his chair that I tuned into. And the customer, and I don't know what it is about bartenders and barbers that you just want to confess everything to bartenders and barbers. The guy sitting in the chair basically was sharing a story of his daughter, mid-30s, and she has Parkinson's disease. And because of the Parkinson's disease, it impacts her balance, and so she's constantly falling. And because of her fall risks, Hey, what's going on, Paul? She lives with her mother and father, and he's older. Obviously, he was older than me, and his wife. So the two of them take care of the daughter, especially make sure that she's not injured when she falls, and if she is injured, that she gets the help that she needs. And that's the whole story. He pays, my barber is extremely slow, which I love. Again, I like a good haircut, and he's immaculate. And the guy beside me does like 3 to 1. So, in the course of that story that he's talking about his daughter, he gets up, pays for his haircut, and leaves. And I'm just sitting there thinking, if I wasn't sitting in that chair, I never would have heard his story. I never would know, again, the secret battle that he's going through. Right? I mean, if you just met this guy, you passed him on the street, cuts you off in traffic, you wouldn't know that he's going through that battle, right? You wouldn't know it because obviously you weren't there to hear that story. And that hit me so hard that, again, all of us are going through something, that we don't know anything about. The average Joe Blow that runs into to Becca doesn't know what she and her husband are going through. How many people have a story of a battle that they're going through and we know nothing about it, right? So maybe those are the lenses that we should be looking at life through. When we encounter someone who's being rude, when we encounter somebody that's being disproportionately reactive to a situation, maybe it's something about a battle that we know nothing about. And so I've been trying to really, really put that first and forward. When somebody cuts me off in traffic, when somebody, says something ignorant to me or whatever, it's kind of like I would like to think to myself, you know what? Maybe it's not me. It's not personal. Maybe they're not paying attention. Maybe the person who's riding your ass, maybe they have to get to a hospital. Maybe they have to get to their daughter that's fallen on the ground and is injured, and they're just trying to get to her. So I'm trying, even if it's not true, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to manifest into this universe is a um, a mentality of forgiveness and a mentality of um, humanity. So that's the first story that I wanted to tell you guys about. Oh, speaking of manifesting positivity, I got this really cool can. It's called Positive Energy Drink, Bob Ross's Positive Energy Drink. This was donated, or this was sent to me by Rick Smith. He's a trucker. Um, you know what? That's a great story. So Rick Smith is a trucker, and he spends the majority of his life on the road. Um, he's married and he's a father. And like I said, the majority of his life is on the road. So missing birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. I imagine that. Like imagine not being able to go to your kid's soccer game or, something, clashes with homecoming or their first date or any of that stuff. Again, these are all mental battles. And if we're going to be part of the human race, then we have to start treating each other like human beings. And human beings hurt, and human beings have problems and issues and things that they're going through. And I think just a little bit of kindness can change the world. And it's not a group thing, it's an individual thing. The individual just has to be a little bit kind, has to be a little bit forgiving, has to be a little bit understanding that maybe, just maybe, you don't know what they're going through. So that brings me into my second story that happened. Second story that happened is I went to the grocery store. It was later in the evening. I go to the grocery store, and when you first walk into my local grocery store, you pass like the little specials that they have, and then you immediately hit the bakery. And I'm pushing my cart, and I'm just about to clear the bakery, and I catch the tail end of a woman, a customer, going completely bananas on the bakery girl behind the counter. And she's a young girl. And I just caught the tail end, and it was some real ignorant stuff like, maybe somebody with more experience should be actually working behind the counter and stuff like that. But she was really, really, really just 2000 PSI at this girl. And a really big portion of me wanted to step in and be like, yo, like trying to keep it PG-13 here. But I really wanted to go off on her. And anybody that knows me knows that I would have given her 4,000 PSI. But anyway, it was the woman had walked away, and she'd finished her rant, walked away. So there was no point in like, hey, you come back here. There was no point in that. So I continued with my shopping, and I am the type of shopper that will, read every can. What's it got in there? What's this? What's that? Blah, 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 blah. And price compare. My wife hates going grocery shopping with me. Anyway, so I continue the circuit of the grocery store about 15, 20 minutes. And as I'm coming around, it's a big square. As I'm coming around back towards the registers, the bakery girl is walking towards me. She's a little bit heavy set. She's younger, heavy set, got a big black hook thing through her nose. And as we come on to each other, I said, hey, I want you to know that I saw what happened. And I'm really sorry that happened. You don't deserve to be talked to that way. And for what it's worth, and I know this is really creepy for a complete stranger to say this, but I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, and as a human being, I love you, and you didn't deserve that. And she just started crying. She just like it again, it was just one of those things that somebody just needed to be seen, and it broke her. Again, talking about battles that we know nothing about. I don't know what her life has been like. That woman who was laying into her had no idea what battle she's fighting, but she just needed somebody to say, "Hey, what happened was not okay, and you are, and you're seen and you're heard." I'm trying world, I'm trying universe. I'm trying to be the manifestation that I want to be. I really, really, really am. Um, the third story I want to talk about is the exact opposite. So, um, I was driving to work the other day, and I'm at the traffic light, and and I look at my rearview mirror, and there's a woman in the car behind me, and she is just rocking out. I don't know what song it was or what she was doing, but she was jamming, hands beating on the steering wheel. She was singing, she was doing her thing. And I look and I'm just like, that woman is experiencing pure happiness, pure joy. And it was so infectious. I was just like, yes, be your best self. I was so happy seeing that. Um, just see, like, you know what I mean? Like that whole that phrase, dance like no one's watching. Absolutely. Hey, what's up, Miller Detailing? Texas DD. Good to see you both. Um, kindness is free. Smiling at people is free. Saying hello to people is free. Um, it costs nothing. It costs nothing. And I don't know. There was a guy at Walmart. He was ringing me up at Walmart, and had his name Hector, and underneath it said proud veteran. And I just said, "Thank you for your service." And he was like, "Really? You're welcome. Did you serve?" I said, "I did." And he was just like, "Well, thank you for your service." And I was just like, "I didn't do much. I'm sure you did more. So I appreciate you." And he shook my hand. He said he appreciated me. That was free. That was a free exchange between two human beings. Detailed Obsession Nation. Good to see you, bud. So those are the kind of things those are the kind of things that I think that this community is is the word notorious? Is it the right word? This community is notorious for being good humans. The Pay It Forward campaign is a testimony to that. The fundraiser for Becca is a testimony to that. The fact that you guys show up here every other week, and at every other podcast that Thor's got going on is a testimony that we are committed to this community. Um, I got an email. I got several emails recently of one of our family members, Curmudgeon's family members. Testimony on that they were losing their mother, and that they were losing their mother to dementia. And for my grandmother, who is currently in full blown dementia. Um, um, Probably one of the most heartbreaking experiences of my life was the first day that my grandmother didn't recognize me. She's gone. She's gone. And I think that's the most painful part of that disease is that it doesn't really so much impact the patient, but it impacts everyone around you or around them. Because you know you have all of those memories and you have all of those stories that she would read to you at night. But she doesn't remember you. Well, because of what we're doing here, the teal and the purple, the mental awareness, people reach out to me and they thank me for bringing, talking about it and being a part of this. And we have one of our Curmudgeon family members emailed me about what they were going through with their mother, and that they were grateful that we talk about these kind of things on this show. What's up, HM? And that they recently lost. They really, their mother finally succumbed to the disease, and they lost her. And again, every one of us is facing a battle that we know nothing about. So let's just be humans to each other. That's just that simple. It's just that simple. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. I don't care what team you root for. Let's just be humans, because damn, we are all in this together. And it can either be a lot easier on all of us or it can be a lot harder on all of us, right? All right. So the fourth story that I want to talk about just happened. I think it was yesterday. All of my days seem to blend together. So this is my favorite story of all of them. It's two lanes going east and two lanes going west. And so I'm going east and I'm in the right-hand lane. And as I get up towards the traffic light, I can see everybody in front of me getting over to the left-hand lane. And as I get closer, it looks like there was a fender bender. It looks like, bink, somebody tapped somebody else in the bumper. That's what it looked like from my vantage point. So I get into the left-hand lane. And as I pass the first car, I can see that the driver of that car is out of his car and he is actually pushing the car in front of him. That car has broken down, and we're on a hill, so there's an incline, and so this guy is trying his hardest to push this car, but he can't do it. So I get back into the right-hand lane and I get out of my car and I'm like, all right, man, time for the two-man drill. Let's go. Two-man sled. Let's rock and roll. So I put my shoulder into the car and we both start pushing. And like I said, it's on an incline. So it's really hard to move this car up this hill. And as we're pushing, all of a sudden it gets really easy to push this car up this hill. And I look up and there's two more guys beside me. So now there's four of us pushing this car up this hill, and we're just trying to get it to the side street so we can clear the road. So we push the car under the side street and away from danger. And when we're done, we're all, bumping fists and slapping hands and so on and so forth. And then I decide I'm going to run back to my car because now I'm blocking the right-hand lane, right? And the woman gets out of the car. The woman that was driving the disabled vehicle gets out of the car and she's very emotional. And she's like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the original kid that the first kid that got out of the car to help, the first kid that was there, and I say his kid, he was probably in his 20s. He turns to her and he says, "Just pay it forward." He said that. He was like, "Just pay it forward." And she's like, "Oh, I will. I promise I will." And I turned around and I was like, "Yes, that is exactly what this is all about. Pay it forward." This guy, man, I'm telling you, it was a manifestation if I had ever seen one. I mean, wow. Lightning bolt, Shazam, pay it forward. Amazing. And just again, humans being humans to humans being good humans to other humans. Would this have happened a month ago for me? 2 months ago for me? I don't know. I was in a pretty dark place, right? I definitely was before June, before I met our guest on Monday. Tracy Beanz is going to be in the house. So like I've lost something to the nature of 70 pounds, 40 of which was after I met her. She was the inspiration for me to start my carnivore diet. And the reason for that is because she said, and we're going to talk about this on Monday, she's the expert, so don't allow me to, muddy your waters. But she was like, there's a microbiome in your gut. If you heal your gut, you will heal your brain. Here we are. So those are the big 4 stories that I really wanted to talk about. There are 2 stories of battles that we know nothing about. One story of absolute pure joy, and one story of a manifestation of what we are trying to accomplish here. The other 2 side stories that you guys know about because I put it on Instagram and stuff like that. Adamo, good to see you. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a gentleman by the name of Greg. You've seen him here in our chats, Greg Siebold. He stopped by the warehouse. The dude lives in Oregon. He has family from back in this area, flew to Philadelphia, spent time with his family, and then asked if he could come by and hang out at the warehouse. You're always welcome at the warehouse. So he came over, we hung out, we talked. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm doing some 3PL stuff for Thor. And I was like, Greg, I unfortunately I got to get back to work. I got to get this thing done and processed, because I have responsibilities. And he was like, I got 2 hours. Can I help? Like, yeah, I'll put you to work. So he came out to the warehouse and we continued our conversation. And he helped bag bottles for Amazon, and it was awesome. It was really, really awesome. And then he wrote like one of the most beautiful stories on Facebook about how he came to the warehouse. And it was just beautiful. And again, it's these interactions, like, again, Phoenix is secondary in my heart. I should say in my heart, Phoenix is secondary to this community. So having him come to the warehouse and share his story and talk and just be able to fellowship is really the fuel that fills my tank. And then because of that story that he wrote, a gentleman was writing replies to his story and was like, West Berlin is like right down the street from me. I would love to come. And I'm like, you're welcome whenever. The following week, yep, Adamo, I agree. Detailed, obsessed nation, I agree. Moms are the priority, 100%. The following week, we have a gentleman, the occasional detailer. You guys might have seen him from time to time here in the chats. The occasional detailer. He lives in Miami, Florida. He had 3 birthdays in New York City. So he flew up to New York City. And out of those 3 birthdays, Thursday he had off. So he rented a car and drove 2 hours to come down and hang out with me. And we went to lunch together and, and just sat there and BS for the longest time. Oh, it was really cool. There was it had to have been a North Korean veteran, North Korean War, Korean War veteran. He was, old as old can be. I don't think he was old enough to be World War II, because I mean he would have been over 100 years old. But anyway, there were three of them, and the place only had Israel and I were sitting at a low top. All they had were high tops and the bar, and they were kind of like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So we gave up our table to them and just moved to the bar because they needed a low table. Obviously, they just physically weren't able to do a high top. And again, it costs nothing to do that. You just have to be paying attention to other human beings. Anyway, so Israel and I hung out and talked, and then we went back to the warehouse, and Kiev, who donated all of that stuff, I don't know how to make heads or tails of all of this stuff that he had. What goes with what goes with, I don't know anything. So Ryan, that's funny. So anyway, his side hustle is he sells power washers. And so he was able to go through the entire display of stuff and sort it all out. This goes with this, this goes with this, this goes with this. This is missing this, I can send it to you. This is missing this, I can send it to you. This is missing this, I can send it to you. What's up, Papa? Good to see you, Smurf. Anyway, so for the first time since this whole thing got started, I've actually been able to breathe. There you go. Yeah. I've been able to breathe about the Pay It Forward campaign. And, if you guys want to, there you go. You can scan that QR code. That goes to the Shipping Hope GoFundMe page, where we are trying to raise enough money to ship all this stuff out. I mean, we have stuff. One power washer alone weighs 90 pounds. That's bananas. So Israel comes over, he does all of that. And as we're finishing up sorting the power washers, this truck pulls up to the front parking lot. Guy gets out, walks into the shop, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Ross from Greg's Post. You said I could stop by." And so, like, I gave him a tour of the warehouse and whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then the 3 of us sat down in the middle of the warehouse. I pulled up 2 chairs. I had my little stool. So we got 2 chairs and 1 stool. And we just sat there for an hour and a half and just talked about all of this stuff. We talked about origin stories. We talked about, the mission that we're trying to do here. And so anyway, that's ultimately why we're doing it tonight, Friday. It's 8:39 at night. And I just wanted to share these stories with you, what this community means to me. Oh, check this out. You guys, I wear a different hat every show. I love hats. If you've been watching the show for any period of time, you know that I like hats. I love hats. I got all these different hats sent to me that I don't even know what that is. Rogers Group. So I'm going to be wearing all those hats over the next couple of weeks. like I said, Bob Ross's positive energy drink. This is going to be, this is, I wish that I had a space that I could put this in that you guys could see it every week. Nope. Nope. There you go. Bob Ross will be in every episode. So there's that. I've had whiskey sent to me. Like, it's just, oh, Miller, that sounds rough. Well, as long as you're not putting the ceramic coating on there. I don't know. Has anybody ever polished or paint corrected in the rain before? Is that possible? Is that something that you can do? I'd I'd love to hear about someone who had to do a paint correction in the rain. Sounds brutal. Yeah. Where was I? I don't know. Rambling. Boop. Let's see here. Let me try to get back on page. That's all I got. Joy is contagious. Pay it forward. Yep. Throw some rinseless on there and get her done for sure. So anyway, this was just supposed to be a teaser. I thought I've been rambling for 3 months. It's okay. Thank you, Kimberly. Much love, Kimberly. Much love. So yeah, this was basically, I came on here to tell everybody I'm sorry about tomorrow night. It had to get pushed back until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Monday. I know that's going to throw off everybody, and West Coast is going to be completely screwed. Thanks, Tim. I did see that. I just got an email. Thank you so much, man. Like, every single dollar is going to go to a good cause. Again, this is the Pay It Forward campaign is 100% community driven and 100% community, period. And I'm going to help as many people as we can afford, and as many people as we can, get product to. We've got a bunch of, ethos, easy peasy coatings were donated. A tremendous amount of Stay Strong detail spray was donated. A bunch of gallons of different stuff. Good night, Becca. We love you. And thank you so much for being a part of this family. You're in our thoughts and you're in our prayers. Anyway, I don't know. I think that's it. I just wanted to tell everybody that Monday is quite a switch. It's not the norm. Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to have Tracy Beanz on the show. She is a real powerhouse, a real pedigree. Again, she's worked for MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. She's worked for Uncover DC as an investigative journalist. Like, she's an amazing woman. She's got background in mental health. I'm just going to sit back and let her talk. So you don't have to worry about my stupid voice getting in the way. Really, truly, she's been on nationally syndicated radio shows. So again, Kimberly, thank you so much. I think that she really has a lot of really intelligent things to say. Again, I'm trying to get more experts in different fields. Oh, last night I got a boxing instructor and boxer to come on the show later. We might push it back until the next year and start the next year off right. So we actually have a boxing trainer that has agreed to come on the show. His name is Ron. And we also have I'm not going to say quite a Michelin star chef, but we have an incredible chef that's coming on the show. His name is Randy. Randy Wagner, absolutely incredible chef. And we're going to hear his story. Like we're really trying to, just got to mom's. What did I miss? Conway, you missed it all. Adamo, I'll see you later, buddy. Thanks for coming out. Hopefully you can make Monday. So yeah, we're definitely really trying to change the direction of the show. And you know, everybody has a story. I want to hear it. Everybody is battling a battle you know nothing about. And that's where we're going in the direction of this podcast. I think Thor has got it pretty much wrapped up as far as detailing is concerned, and detailing content. And hopefully y'all are not just here for that, because I know that there are some people that are just detail oriented. Yeah. Hey, Conway, have you ever detailed a vehicle in the rain, a paint correction in the rain? Just wondering. Asking for a friend. I love talking about anything. Dude, Paul, you certainly do, and you were awesome, bud. You were awesome. You came on the Curmudgeon's Corner and we talked about everything but detailing, and that was fantastic. Actually, yes. See? You were right. Where was he? If anyone, yeah, boom, if anyone has polished in the rain, it's Prob Conway. Yep. Anyway. So also tomorrow is my wife's birthday, which is kind of my fault for we weren't doing anything tomorrow. We were supposed to do everything on Tuesday, but then we got invited to a dinner thing for her. So we said, okay, we'll go. And then I called Tracy and I said, Tracy, can you do Friday night? She said, no. I said, can you do Saturday earlier? And she said, no. And then we kind of talked about, maybe pushing it back a month or so because, SEMA's coming up. And then she was like, why don't we just do Monday? I'm already doing an interview. I'm going to be all dolled up. Let's just do Monday. And I said, okay, we'll do Monday. So that's how things fell out on Monday. So I do apologize for the last minute venue, but it's going to be a phenomenal show. And if you can't make it to the show, it will be forever on YouTube. Thank you, Kimberly. It'll be forever on YouTube for you guys to go back and watch, and all the podcast stuff. We stream to, I think, every platform now. We're on every platform from iHeartRadio to Spotify, Amazon, all of them. Apple. I was listening while driving, so I didn't miss much. Good. Thanks, Conway. Fernando. All right. I think that's just about wrapping it up. I'm going to just start rambling, and then it's going to get ugly for everybody. Again, those are just two stories that happened in the course of just a random interaction with two random people, that really has impacted me in a way that I'm just trying personally to be better. That's it. I can't control anyone else. And I have this conversation with my wife all the time. I can't control anyone else. I can only control me, and I can only control my reactions to other people. And my reactions to other people need to be one of forgiveness is probably not the right word, but tolerance with an understanding that I don't know what's going on. Right? I think you don't necessarily need to be, oh, I forgive you for the slight that you cast upon me. I think that's probably a little bit arrogant. I think that's probably a little bit self-serving, but it's more of a tolerance of, I don't know what that person's going through, so I'm just going to let it ride. You know what I mean? And when you do see something of what I consider to be an injustice, say something. Hey, you didn't deserve what happened to you, and you are seen, right? You're a human being, and you don't deserve to be talked to that way. And I just, again, circling back around, if we all kind of look through life with that kind of a lens, I think that not only will we make it a better world, but we're going to make ourselves happier, right? We're going to make ourselves happier, as opposed to holding on to anger, as opposed to holding on to, um, you know, that person slighted me, and so therefore I demand a pound of flesh. Like, no, I don't think that's the approach. You don't know. Again, there are going to be people out there that are just dicks. There are people that are out there that are just self-absorbed, egotistical dicks. But you don't have to react to them like that. You can react to them like something happened in that person's life that made them a dick. And for that reason, you deserve grace, the same grace that I give, because I have bad days. I have bad moons. I have bad moments. You know, I do. I'm emotional. I react to things. Let's just say it was the day that let's just say it was the day that I wasn't recognized for my grandmother. And my brain was nowhere near focusing on people around me. And maybe I cut you off. Maybe I didn't hold a door for you. Maybe there could have been 1,000 things, because your brain is just focusing on, at this point, just sorrow. Maybe you just found out that you had cancer. Sorry, I didn't notice you. Sorry, I cut you off. Sorry, I merged without turning on my turn signal. Like, I think that's the kind of grace that we need to extend to the world, is maybe that person is just going through something. That's what I want Curmudgeon's Corner to be. I want Curmudgeon's Corner to be just a place of salty understanding. Right. Anyway, Neil John in the United Kingdom. It's got to be what, 1 o'clock in the morning? 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 o'clock in the morning. Neil, you are an animal. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. That dude always leaves a comment. He's probably been one of the bigger supporters of Phoenix E.O.D. Appreciate you, sir. Anyway, all right. So it's been almost an hour, 53 minutes, 19 seconds. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? So don't wish the anvil to fall and crush them. Got it. Yeah, that's the lesson here. I mean, even if they deserve it, we need to extend grace. Period. Grace. It's a beautiful thing, because grace never misses. Grace never misses. And I certainly have done my fair share of absolutely dickish things in my life. My goodness. I would love to do a podcast. There was you guys know Jim Brewer. He's a comedian. He was one of the first guys to jump over to Sirius XM radio. And he had the Jim Brewer show. And basically it was just him and like 3 of his buddies sitting around talking stories about, like, hey, when I was 19, this happened. Rick Smith and we talk almost every day. Like I said earlier in the show, he's a truck driver, spends infinite amount of hours on the road. So whenever I can talk to him, I will put my ear set in and we'll just talk, because I can work and he can drive. And he gets me talking about some of the craziest stories, things that I have forgotten about. I said, Rick, the conversation originally was, I was talking about Joe Rogan and all the great guests that Joe Rogan has. I'm not really big into the comedians and the MMA fighters, but like when there's somebody on that is infinitely smarter than me, which is 90% of his guests, I love listening to that stuff, especially the mathematicians, the astrophysicists, you know, those super intellectuals on the science realm, or STEM, if you will. I will listen to the same podcast 2 or 3 times because it's so far over my head. I don't understand half of it. But I said, Joe Rogan does like 3 on average, it's 3 podcasts a week. Sometimes he does 4 or 5. Sometimes he does less. He's like, but it's rarely less. I'm pretty good or excuse me, 4 episodes. I do 4 episodes a week, sometimes 5, sometimes 3. I said, Rick, I don't know if I could find something to talk about 4 times like that. 3 hours, a 3-hour podcast 4 times a week. I don't think I could find something like that to talk about. He goes, Aaron, we talk 5 days a week for at least 4 hours. So we could do that podcast. The problem with that is that sometimes we talk about things that should never, ever, ever be on air. Like the real raw stuff that, as a business owner, you don't want to live in infamy, infamy on the World Wide Web for forever. I had a guy yell at me for the hot wing challenge that I did on Eddie's channel before Thor was even a thing, and I guess Jamie lost a bet, and I had to eat the hot wing, the bomb. I had a guy yell at me for not being professional enough as the face and owner of Phoenix E.O.D. I should hold myself in higher esteem. I'm just me. I'm just me. I'm just me. That's it. Just a guy. Anyway. Anywho, yeah, I need to talk to you after Conway about the next BioBombs Phoenix YouTube Shorts campaign. Halloween Lego theme. All right, I'm in. Guardian, I'm in. Whatever you guys want to do. Can we hook up for a phone call over the next week, Aaron? I have some things to ask before I start doing these videos. Yeah, so Conway is going to be the new face of Phoenix. Conway has volunteered to be the new face of Phoenix. He's going to be doing a bunch of the product related stuff, since everybody knows that I'm not a detailer and that Conway is. He is currently getting intimate with the Phoenix product line, and he's going to be doing some info videos for exactly how to use the product and how to dilute it and how to use it and all of those fun things that go with it. So yeah, Conway is now an official employee of Phoenix E.O.D. Wink, wink. Yeah, Conway, Titan Tim from Shiny Light Detailing. He has been involved in the creation of most of these products. He's been doing a bunch of beta testing for me when it comes to new product development and things of that nature. So there's that. Also, in other news, we have slightly changed the formula of Fabulous Finishing Polish. So Fabulous Finishing Polish is now a sprayable polish, and it is capable of being a true jeweler. So now it will jewel your paint like nobody's business. You heard it here first. I just announced it. I probably shouldn't have, but cheers. But that's what we're doing. Fabulous Finishing Polish is now sprayable. Yeah, so there we are. Where are we at? 59, 58, 59, 59, 1 hour. Woo-hoo! We hit 1 hour. So had a lot of people ask if it's so runny for a reason. Yes, spray it. Spray it. When will that drop? It's available now. Why don't we? I'm just going to throw it up on the website. V2, Fab Finishing Polish V2. It's here. It's available. It's ready to rock and roll. It's going to save you guys money because you don't have to use as much as when you're spraying. The particles are just better to jewel. So, with the improvements that we made to Papa Cut, we've been working on trying to get Fabulous Finishing Polish to be a true 1-2 companion to Papa Cut. So between the two products, you should be able to cover 95% of whatever you are encountering. Obviously, if you have one of those barn finds and you get like a super heavy cut out there, you're going to need something more than Papa Cut. But Guardian, I don't know. I don't use Toco sprayers. I couldn't tell you. So, yeah. Titan Tim, I'm going to have to get you a bottle just so that you can, well, technically you've already had a bottle for some time. So anyway, I guess that's it. Those are the announcements. If you showed up on a Friday night, 8:00 Eastern time, and you listened to me ramble for an hour, God bless you. Again, just be a good human. All right, we're all in this together. You can be miserable and put miserableness into the universe, or you can just be kind, because you have absolutely. Aaron sprayers are so. I know, Paul. All right, I'm winding this down because I'm tired. I'm not even supposed to be here today. All right. So, before I get started on this, all right. So we got Tracy Beanz on Monday. The following week, we will be in SEMA. So there's going to be crazy content through SEMA. So that's going to be November 4th through November 7th. My dad is actually going with me because I wanted to show him the other side of what I do. And we're taking the red eye on the 7th and coming back to Pittsburgh on November 8th. The night of November 8th is supposed to be Curmudgeon's Corner 66. It is going to be I don't know how long it's going to be, because like I said, we're taking the red eye from Vegas to Pittsburgh, and I'm going to be pretty exhausted. And my dad, who's 77 years old, he's going to be pretty exhausted. But it's going to be me and my dad doing this very thing from his house in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to basically interview him about his thoughts on SEMA. So we're going to do a SEMA review live from the Burkett compound in northwestern PA. It's amazing. He's got a pool table in his office. Like, my dad is a baller. I am a shadow of what I should have been. Anyway, so I'm really excited to share that with you guys. The night of the 8th. It's going to just be a SEMA recap, and then I forget who we got after that, but we're booked up all the way through the Pay It Forward, the Pay It Forward nominations. And I have a bunch of people that I want to come on during the Pay It Forward nomination part. Basically from Thanksgiving to Christmas, we do an episode every single week. And I know Jamie the cleaner is gonna be on, and I told him I'd like him to come on the show to talk about everything but detailing. So we're going to get into the real behind the scenes of Jamie, the family man, Jamie, the wrestler, Jamie, the detailer, and basically everything not Thor related. And he was very open to doing that. I'm really excited to get to know Jamie outside of the detailing world. So that's where we're at. We're going to be finishing up 2025 with an absolute bang. I can't believe that November is already here. It is absolutely insane that we have burned through 2025 as hard as we have. Yep, exactly. Colonel Burkett in the house. All right, so Phoenix Rise from the Ashes Pay It Forward campaign. Send your donations. That could be slightly used or new. Heck, even if it's heavily used, if it can go to the right person, send it over to the Phoenix Warehouse, 404 Bloomfield Drive, Suite 1, West Berlin, New Jersey, 08091. If you can, help us ship hope. This is the link, the GoFundMe.me, GoFund.me/F85A4D25. Or click on the QRL code and it'll take you right there and you can donate. Again, every dollar that is donated that GoFundMe doesn't eat is going to go to help pay for shipping for all the equipment that we I have been there. It has a nice bathroom. What's up, Godfrey? Good to see you. Yeah, I feel like it's been 5 years this 1 year. That is not a joke. It has been. Wow, it's been a wild year. All right. If you'd like to be a guest on Curmudgeon's Corner, or if you'd like to contact the show, drop us an email at thecorner@phoenixeod.com. And then as soon as Eileen finishes turning over the rights to Curmudgeon's Corner podcast on Instagram, I'll be uploading all of this stuff to that source. Suicide prevention and crisis counseling resources. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, seek help from a professional and call 988. The United States' first nationwide 3-digit mental health crisis hotline. 988 will connect callers with trained mental health counselors. You can also text HOME to 741-741 in the US and Canada to reach the crisis text hotline. You can also visit apa.org/topics/crisis-hotlines to get in contact with resources to anything that may be impacting you. It could be substance abuse, it could be gambling, it could be emotional, physical, mental abuse. Anything that you are facing, you are not alone. We still have West Coast distribution. I am detailedaf.com. Adrian is awesome. So if you're anywhere on the West Coast, reach out to him, save yourself some money on some shipping. And then we also have Southeast distribution, Titan Tim over at shineyourlightdetailing.com/store. And then, of course, you can always go to the House of Rags everywhere you are, worldwide. Thehouseofrags.com. And I think that's just about it for me. I really appreciate y'all being here. Hopefully you guys can share this with other people. Adrian has a nice haircut. You guys mean everything to me. I love this more than anything else, other than my immediate family. Anyway, thanks for coming out on a Friday night. I'll see you Monday, 6:30 p.m. Tracy Beanz, Curmudgeon's Corner 6065. It's going to be, hopefully, it's going to be my best show ever. I might have my shit together and put on a good show. All right. So until Monday, y'all stay frosty.